A new card from Scarlet Violet. You might notice that this art is not the art from the set. It's an older art. It's better. You don't have to ask me if it's better or not, because it is.
And that's yet another DDG win.
What's poppin', DDG subs? It's Hunter here, bringing you a deck profile on Lost Zone Box, as well as some gameplay between Mew VMAX. This is going to be in the Scarlet and Violet meta, so this is post-rotation. I'm going to go through the deck here, the Lost Zone box deck, and then we'll have a game with the updated Mew VMAX list that we have here, which I will have listed in the description below. But without further ado, just get straight into it. I want to start with the engine cards. Obviously, we're talking about a Lost Zone deck. A Lost Zone deck is nothing without 4 copies of Comfey and that Radiant Greninja. This is kind of your draw package. For newer players who don't know what Comfey does, it allows you to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, place one inside the Lost Zone, put the other into your hand, and then Radiant Greninja has that concealed cards ability, which allows you to discard an energy card and draw 2 cards from your deck. So these two combined is how you're going to be able to see cards throughout your deck and get cards into your Lost Zone besides that course experiment, so we can actually begin to use our Mirage Gates. Couple attackers, 2 Cramorant, and 2 Sableye. This is pretty standard for Lost Zone decks. For those who don't know, Sableye places 12 damage counters once you've had 10 in the Lost Zone, and Cramorant does Spit Innocently for 0 energy with its Lost Provisions ability for 110 once you're at 4 cards in the Lost Zone. In this new format, there's a lot of smaller decks like Gardevoir having to use evolutions, as well as decks like Lost Zone Giratina and Mew, who are going to be able to have basic Pokemon that you're able to stack up damage on between these 2 attacks. These kind of have been the staple backbone of the Lost Zone box engine, getting that early attack to either take out 1 prizers or start to damage a 2 prizer, and then clean up in the end game. The next couple attackers we have are our big hitters. We have a Snorlax here from Lost Origin, rocking that thumping snore attack, 180 damage. Then I go to sleep, flip 2 coins. This is just a nice medium attacker to be able to get over things like Archeops, things like the Shining Arcana Gardevoir against the Gardevoir EX deck. So this is kind of our big hitter. And then we also have a Zamazenta from the Crown Zenith expansion, rocking that Retaliate attack for 100, and if something was knocked out, plus 120. So these guys can kind of get over some of those smaller HPVs like Lumineon, and then Zamazenta can get over some bigger HPVs like Lugia V, Tyranitar V, Gardevoir EX as well, because it's hitting for Metal Weakness now that Metal Weakness is even relevant. But yeah, these guys do a real good job as opening up a way to take 2 prizes or finish the 2-shot from something like a Cramorant. The one, well, I should say there's 2 new cards from Scarlet and Violet in this deck, but the one that I most enjoy is this Hawlucha, which for those who don't know, it's a brand new card from the Scarlet Violet expansion, rocking that ability Flying Entry, and when you play it onto your bench, you get to choose 2 Pokemon on their bench and put 1 damage counter on them. So this is like a little bit nerfed Galarian Zigzagoon, but obviously giving you that extra damage counter. So this right here helps to kill 2 Comfeys in the mirror, be able to do big Sableye plays, KO Manaphy by placing 1 on Manaphy, 1 on Comfey. So this guy just helps us really in the Lost Zone mirror match, and also just gives us more damage to play around with Sableye. Super underrated card from the set. I think you'll see a bunch of play. Then some techs. We're rocking a Manaphy. We want to block other Radiant Ninjas from knocking us out, getting our bench lowered. And we also just want to protect ourselves against Kyogre, which has surfaced in the Japanese meta a little bit in both Goodra and Lost Zone box decks. Then finally, we're rocking 2 V Pokemon. We're rocking the Raikou V and the Drapion V. Specifically, we're playing V Pokemon in this build because we're including the Sky Seal Stone, which allows us to take extra prizes on the V-Star and V-Maxes. Drapion, obviously getting used against Mew, for those who don't know. Mew VMAX is weak to Dark type, and this Drapion V has less colorless requirement in its attack based on the amount of Fusion Strike Pokemon played. And then we have the Raikou here to counteract Lugia, be able to hit weakness on that. Also, if Palkia decks become established, this can also be used against Palkia in the new format. For those who don't know what Raikou does, it's 20 plus 20 per bench Pokemon on both mine and my opponent's side. so hitting at a max 220 is good damage as well on V Pokemon that are not weak to lightning. So that's the Pokemon. We're going to get into the trainers. I'm not going to go too heavy detail onto these because most of these are standard. 4 Colress to get our cards into the Lost Zone. The backbone of any Lost Zone deck, you need to play 4 of these. This is what you want to see in your opening hand. It's what you want to see on turn 2. Maybe even you want to see turn 3 before you start playing these other supporters, utility supporters that I have. 2 copies of Raihan. This is going to be an awesome way to power up our Raikou, to power up our Zamazenta, our Snorlax, in combination with a gate. Raihan can actually fetch out the gate. For those who don't know what Raihan does, it allows you, after a Pokemon has been knocked out, to take an energy from your discard pile, place it onto a Pokemon, and then search your deck for a card. So this can be awesome, finding our Mirage Gate, finding our combo pieces, and just being able to accelerate energy as a whole. We're rocking 2 Klara. 2 Klara really hasn't been seen in Lost Zone boxes besides the Sablezar, but in the new format, we're able to get more utility out of our Cramorants and our Sableyes. Also rotating, we lost our Ordinary Rod, so not able to get back Pokemon like Manaphy or other tech Pokemon right back into the deck with our energy from Mirage Gate. So Klara can kind of help with that if we're holding a Mirage Gate or if we're using one of those no energy attackers or 1 energy attackers. Rocking 1 Boss. I think it's nice to have, especially with having the V Pokemon. We want to be able to target exactly what we want to knock out, so not normal to Lost Zone decks, but I think it's appropriate in this build. Then we're rocking the 4 Battle VIP Pass. That will never change with this Lost Zone deck. We want to see our basics. And then we're rocking the 3 Nest Ball, the new card from Scarlet Violet. You might notice that this art is not the art from the set. It's an older art. It's better. You don't have to ask me if it's better or not, because it is. Jokes aside, Nest Ball is able to search out a basic Pokemon from our deck, put it right onto our bench. I feel like this card is super well geared towards the Lost Zone box decks. Quick Ball was kind of hard, discarding cards, getting rid of resources. Our whole deck's basics, so we don't care about putting it straight to our bench besides the V Pokemon and the lovely Hawlucha, which we cannot put straight to our bench because we need to bench it for the effect. Then I'm playing 1 Heavy Ball. We have a lot of 1-ups in this deck. Heavy Ball's nice. It's just another ball card. More than likely it's live, so it's always a good thing to have around. And I feel like getting to your specific V Pokemon in that Lugia or that Mew matchup, you really want to see your Drapion or your Raikou, so you need to make sure you have access to that. Now for our switching outs, we're rocking the 4 Escape Rope and what should be 4 Switch Carts, but I don't have a 4th one, so here's a switch. Either way, you want 8 switching outs. This is kind of standard at this point. We're missing the Scoop Up Net, which does hinder the deck speed a bit, but having the 8 switch outs is still plenty to be able to pivot between our Comfeys and get through to attackers. Then we're rocking the full 4 Mirage Gate. This is how we're going to power up our attackers. For those who don't know, Mirage Gate, when you're at 7 in the Lost Zone, you're able to take 2 different types of energy and put them on your field how you please. So this is how we're going to power up all our attackers, and it's the backbone of the deck. As I mentioned earlier, we are missing the Ordinary Rod, so with the Klaras, we're also rocking the 2 Energy Recyclers. It's not as great in this build as Ordinary Rod would be, because that's kind of the perfect number of Pokemon and energy. This would be, more utilized in a Kyogre style, but for the, Zamazenta and the Snorlax requiring 3 energy, the Energy Recycle works out just fine, and it is up to 5, so you don't have to put the full 5 if you need to. This is just the best card that we have available. Then I'm rocking some techs. 1 Lost Vacuum. This is mostly just to get rid of Path or get rid of pesky tools and then get rid of a card out of our hand to be able to get one into the Lost Zone. It's really not going to be for too many specific situations other than getting an extra card in the Lost Zone and then removing Path to the Peak or maybe some other stadiums like Collapsed. Then I'm rocking the 1 Sky Seal Stone, as mentioned before. This is our V-Star power of the deck, taking those extra prizes on V-Stars and V-Maxes with our Drapion and our Raikou. And then this is my 1 proxy of the deck. Training Court is no longer legal, but this is a Beach Court. So what Beach Court does is, when it's in play, it allows your basic Pokemon to have 1 colorless retreat less. So having our Comfey's free retreat, our Sableye's free retreat, our Cramorant's free retreat, and as well as our Hawlucha free retreat, Manaphy. Also, a lot of the deck being 1 retreat, giving you free retreat out. It's really awesome. It's I wish I could have this card at 2, but with my current build, I'm not able to fit it, and I'm really enjoying it just at the 1. And then energy, lastly, the 4 waters, being able to use that Radiant Greninja. 3 metals for the Zamazenta, 3 psychics for the Sableye, and 1 lightning for our Raikou. We are only running the 1 lightning. Raikou isn't used in too many matchups. Comes in against Mew, comes in against Lugia, could come in if Palkia becomes a deck. So this is our 1 of energy. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get a game. I'm going to have my pal Mark. He's going to come over here and accommodate me in playing a game. And then we'll see how it goes. I'm also going to give a short shout out to Mark for using his setup here at Versus Games. So shout out to him for allowing us to use this setup. And Mark also has been a part of my Pokemon life for a really long time. I've actually took part in teaching Mark the game, being on a team with Mark. We were on a YouTube sponsored team way back in the day called the Meta Deck. And we worked on decks together and play tested together. And we have traveled the country together. So he's one of my closest friends. And I really appreciate him allowing us to use this awesome studio equipment and be a part of the video by playing me. So shout out to him for being here.
Thank you.
A couple things I want to say about this matchup to begin with is obviously it is favored for the Lost Zone box. Having that Drapion. Now, Mew still has things it can do. Being able to path to the peak and turn off that Drapion, as well as Lost City the Drapion and take single KOs, Lost City Greninja as well. Being able to Lost City important parts of my deck can be very volatile, especially when we're talking about Judge and Roxanne. Being able to change my hand and put me off of the large hand I'm building with Colress and Flower Selecting from Comfey. Being able to shuffle that into my deck and possibly brick me into energies, Battle VIP passes, cards that ball cards that do not further the game state, could easily put me on a slow burner for a couple turns where Mew can kind of claw back. Also, the Psychic Leap strategy, being able to Psychic Leap and heal my Cramorant and my Sableye damage that I place on Mew, and knock out Comfeys and Sableyes, with that being able to remove the damage off the field. Now, the Sky Seal Stone Drapion, I find that if you're able to pull that off, you know, that it's pretty much a game, set, and match. Oh, we got some dice coming in here. Perfect. And I'm also going to put out our V-Star markers here. We got a couple dice for both of us, even though we'll be blowing each other up, pretty much, except for me. I'll be placing some damage. And then I'm going to be playing, what should we have as our V-Star counters?
You got a Buzzwold GX in there?
I don't have a Buzzwold GX. I have a full RN though. We're going to take that. So we're going to use a full RN and a rainbow ear to get fancy with it. When these guys are flipped over, our V-Stars have been used. I'm obviously rocking the Sky Seal Stone, and Mark is rocking the Forest Seal Stone. There's a lot of Stones energy going around. So Mark, when's the last time you played Pokemon?
The last time I played Pokemon, I played at the most recent Orlando Regional.
Well, that's right. You did play Orlando.
I played the Orlando Regional. I rocked the Vikavolt deck that you gave me. I believe it was pretty close to the same list that Gibby Archer Tang won the event before that with. But before that, I hadn't touched a Pokemon card in a very long time. The life of being a store manager at a card store kind of just takes away all your spare time that you would be able to use playing games. But it's a good time, though. I very much enjoy it, and I do enjoy the small times I do get to play Pokemon. It's a great game.
Of course, me too. And like I said, me and Mark have traveled all over the place together, so we're gonna have a friendly game. I'm not gonna have to beat him up. And you wanna call, or you're gonna
I'll call heads for me.
Yeah. And it's tails, so I will go ahead and choose to go first. Both gonna set out our cards here, and I have a basic. Whew, this is a stinker.
Oh no, I too have a basic.
Okay. We're going to place out our prizes. And let's go ahead and begin. Good luck. I'm going to draw. Whew. This is not the hand you want to see. I'm just going to attach a lightning energy. And I'm going to pass.
Oh my goodness. We'll draw for turn.
Sometimes the Lost Zone deck can give you a bit of energy.
Feels good to have this card back. A Nest Ball.
Now, Mew VMAX gaining also the Nest Ball, losing the Quick Ball, which it will dearly miss, being able to thin a card out of your hand to fetch that Genesect or fetch that Mew. But Nest Ball, not a bad ad. Able to search a basic, put it straight onto your bench. Mew doesn't mind having extra ball cards to be able to get basics onto the board. In this matchup, the most important thing Mark can do is make sure to fill his board. Mew needs a full board to be able to take advantage of that Fusion Strike system that Genesect has. For those who don't know what Genesect does, for an ability that you can use once per Genesect, you can count the amount of Fusion Strike Pokemon on your board and draw a card for each up until the amount of Fusion Strike Pokemon. So, for instance, if you have 3 Fusion Strike Pokemon and you have 1 card in hand, you're drawing 2 cards. Or if you have 6 Fusion Strike Pokemon in hand, you can draw up until you have 6 cards. Mark going all out with the 3 Genesect. Certainly going to be a heater.
This is very awkward hand. I'm going to judge us.
Okay. My hand did have a Colress, but it had too many energy in it. Hopefully I can land... you know, it sucks that all 4 of my Battle VIP Pass are still in the deck or in the prizes. And Mark going for that aggressive setup. He saw how weak my board was, so he's deciding, hey, I'm going to go for extra Genesect, so I'll be able to get a Mew off the judge.
And if we don't, we're drawing some cards.
Yeah, if you don't, you're drawing some cards. I'm sure you'll get a Mew or an Ultra Ball. Oof.
What if I told you it was none of those?
Oh my goodness. We got a stinker here, folks. They've only drawn a 3.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting rid of any of these cards in my hand. Not worth it. Ah, that's a big stinky pass.
Woo! Alright, at least we're on even playing field.
It's first video, guys. We're good.
First video, guys. I'm going to Nest Ball. My hand's got 2 energy in it, so I'm going to search for Greninja if I have it instead of a Comfey. I see that my opponent doesn't have a Mew. I really need to take advantage of using Greninja before he puts Path into play and is able to set up. Right now, he can't play Path because he needs to be able to get Mews in play, but I need as many turns out of this Greninja as I can get. And hopefully, draw into a Colress here or some Comfeys. And I'm going to discard the Water Energy. Draw 2 cards with that concealed. Oof. Oh my goodness. I'm going to play out my Cramorant, and I will scratch for 20.
Ooh. Draw. Oh, no. Dude, that's just a pass for me.
Oh my goodness. And I still don't have a card.
Oh, gosh.
I'll conceal cards for 2. Oh my god.
This is why we play all of our games in a best of 3.
Exactly, because at least we're both dead drawing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to scratch for 20. Hopefully we hit a Colress or a Comfey here soon. Uh-oh, it looks like Mark might have drawn an Ultra Ball. Will we see the Mew V hit the board? Now, unfortunately, this matchup is not going exactly as we'd like to plan. But this is Pokemon. Decks tend to be a little more inconsistent in the beginning of a new format with how they're built. I feel like both these builds are quite standard. They're pretty decently mapped after the Aichi League winning list and 11th or 12th place Mew list. The list without Meloetta. I'm choosing not to have Meloetta in my Mew list at the moment. I'm really enjoying the consistency of just not playing the Fusion Strike energy. But Mark finally has a Mew. Hopefully he's going to draw some cards. He's definitely drawing some cards. He's getting at least 2. Yep. And I got 1 turn before Mark can get an attack off, and then it's go time.
What's your yard? Okay.
2 waters, Nest Ball.
Oh, God. Escape rope.
I will place the Cramorant in the active.
one.
And he's flipping, boys. Oh!
Hey. Just like that, the hand is fixed.
Now, Mark's probably looking for another Mew V or a supporter card. Could be a couple of things he's looking for here. He could get Mew VMAX for next turn. I still have 0 cards in Lost Zone, so he's not afraid of any of that. He is quite afraid of Drapion, though. So with this 4-bench Pokemon, he really wants to bench another Mew, or else this Mew could be knocked out. He might even consider retreating to Genesect and giving up that over giving up the DTE, depending on if he feels like I can reach for the Drapion. He's only used 2 Genesects as well, so he's got 1 Genesect left to be able to draw. If he gets another Mew, he's going to be able to draw up to 5 cards in hand. Also, shout out to me for buying these awesome Mew sleeves about 4 months ago, and now they're coming in handy. Yep, grab that Mew V, draw 3 more.
Ooh, that's 4.
Yep, Mark's cheating.
Alright.
Now Mark's big decision is, does he want to leave this Mew in the active, or does he favor getting rid of a Genesect? Yeah, he's worried about the Drapion. Okay. I will start with concealed cards. And I will pass the turn.
Alright.
Now Mark has to be thinking, alright, there's no cards in the Lost Zone. He's got an 8-card hand. Does his hand have anything good? Is it still terrible? Why hasn't he played a supporter? Does he want to knock... The most valuable thing for Mark to knock out is this Radiant Greninja. If he can Lost Zone this and not allow me to get it back, obviously the only way I can get it back is Klara now, because Ordinary Rod is no longer legal. If he's able to do that, he's going to stop all my draw, because I have not played a Colress in 4 turns. However, if I am holding the Drapion, Mew VMAX will be taken down for 3 prizes, which could get me to an even board state. Neither of us have taken a prize card. We've just been blowing on each other softly with our setups. But he's going to go with an Avery, draw 3 cards, not disrupting my board too much as he would like to when I have a full board, but it's better than judging me into a better hand when clearly I've been draw passing for 4 turns.
I'll pass.
Oh my goodness. He didn't have the Switch card. Okay. Now I'm going to bench Comfey. I'll retreat. I will Greninja. I'll Comfey. I'll Lost Zone my Raihan. Play Nest Ball. Grab another Comfey. And now we're both going to be able to start doing things. Now that I have some Comfey in play to be able to put some cards in the Lost Zone, this game's going to get a lot better, unfortunately, with both of us having some poor starts. Not too explosive, but nobody's lost any prizes yet. We're both just mounting our boards here. And I'm going to pass it over to you, Mark, and let's see if we can get an attack from that Mew VMAX.
discard.
5 energies, 2
That's
Nest
a
Ball.
lot of energies.
Sure is.
Alright. It's gonna be a little awkward, but I'm trying to not see this card again. I'm gonna play Power Tablet. I'm gonna blow that Comfey to the moon. Judge.
The good part about playing that Power Tablet too is that you can, if you don't evolve that bench Mew V, you can use Psychic Leap, not shuffle in and not take a knockout, and then be able to attack next turn because you didn't use that Technoblast. For those who don't know, Mew using that Cross Fusion Strike, being able to copy any Fusion Strike Pokemon on the board or on the bench more specifically.
Okay.
Most notably copies that Genesect attack for 210, which states, when this Pokemon attacks, you cannot attack the next turn. So if he takes a knockout without using Genesect, he is in fact able to make back-to-back attacks without finding a switch card. We're both going to cut each other's decks. Give me 4 cards. Hopefully I deserve a Colress at this point.
Nest Ball.
Going with the 4 Jennies. Now Mark desperately needs to get out of the active before I start mounting real pressure into the Lost Zone. So hopefully this turn he found a DT or found a switch card.
Because we have 6 in play, yeah. All right.
Yep, 6 in play, so you get to drop to 6.
Alright. Cross switcher. I will take Greninja.
Yep, that's the best thing we can kill. Now, this time we're going to have to use the Genesect attack, but that's okay, because we can evolve the other Mew and attack with the next turn. Being able to get rid of this Greninja is a big part.
Draw 2. And we'll use Technoblast.
Yep. And now, this is where I need to mount some offense. Finally. Alright, we've been blessed with the Colress gods to finally get a Colress. And I'm going to get rid of these 2. Then I'm going to flower selecting. Get rid of Hawlucha. I'm going to retreat Comfey. Second Comfey. That's an easy one. And then I'm going to pass to you.
Draw.
Now some of you may be wondering why I didn't try to reach for a cram tack. 1, I didn't have a switch card. 2, I'm actually not worried about wasting small attacks on this Mew VMAX. I want to wait for my Drapion Sky Seal Stone, and then I want to use Mirage Gate to be able to take care of either this Genesect with my Sableye, a couple of Sableyes, or using Raikou to be able to knock out a Genesect with a full board.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Okay. There has to be a SV.
There just has to be a V. He's going to pop his Forest Seal Stone. For those who don't know, Forest Seal Stone, awesome card. It's an item card, a tool card, I should say. You can use it as your V-Star power as long as it's attached to a base or attached to a V. And you can pop it and go ahead and grab any card out of your deck. Now, Mark's probably thinking, I need a Switch card, or I need a DT and a Mew VMAX to be able to attack with a new Mew VMAX. Although if he does, he is pretty much locked into using that Max Miracle. Obviously, he doesn't want to use Technoblast to knock out Comfey. It would be a waste of resetting attack when it can be knocked out by that beautiful Max Miracle. I've also finally reached close to the threshold of 7. I've got 5 in the Lost Zone. Next turn, I'll be able to get at least 6. Hopefully, with a Colress, we can make that 7 happen and begin to use our Mirage Gates. Mark's chose his card. Let's see what Mark has decided is important on this turn to complete an attack, whether it be a switch card or be setting up the new Mew VMAX.
I'm about to call John Kettler. These prizes are crazy.
You know, my prizes aren't exactly awesome either.
Alright. This. Got the cards out of my hand, so this is kind of stinky. Lost City. I know this feels horrible because we normally want to save this for the Drapion. And don't worry, guys, it gets worse. Double tablet. Alrighty. Let's try. 2.
Mew VMAX. Or switch card.
It was neither.
Mark opting for the little greedier play, grabbing that DT instead of grabbing that switch card, whether it be escape rope or a set of cross switchers, hoping to be able to hit another Mew VMAX, having more outs like Ultra Ball. He hasn't played many Ultra Ball this game, only one, I believe. You know, only playing one Ultra Ball this game. Best possible scenario is looking like a retreat to a Genesect. And then hoping for that cross switchers on the next turn.
Pass.
I'm going to draw. Use Comfey first. And get rid of the switch card. And then I'm going to play Klara. Getting back Radiant Greninja, Psychic and Metal, and I'm gonna trade with Greninja. I'm gonna play Escape Rope. And then now that I have 4 cards in the Lost Zone, I'm gonna use the Spit Innocently for 110 damage. Now that I have some damage stuck on Mark's board, I'm going to be able to use this as my cleanup once I Sky Seal Stone his Mew VMAX. Cramorant gets a heads. It's going to need to find a switch card. Probably needs to start thinking about changing my hand as well, as I'm holding a lovely 11 cards. So if he can play the Judge and take a knockout, this would be a great turn for Mark. Also, me leaving this Lost City in play means that when he takes a knockout, I get to that magic 7th card into my Lost Zone, unless he counters it with a Path to the Peak. Be a good turn to play Path to the Peak. He has Greninja that I'm able to use, as well as that Drapion, which can come down and take a knockout. Path to the Peak's in play, though. Drapion loses its ability. And then I have to find 2 Mirage Gates to be able to power it up and knock out a Mew VMAX. Not exactly what we're looking for when we're talking about this matchup. Now, it is very straightforward. Use the Drapion to find 2 prizes. How else? But for the Mew deck, he kind of has to dance around, not leaving Mew VMAX in the active at the wrong time, being able to heal his Mew VMAXs through the Psychic Leap, whilst also knocking out appropriate Pokemon like that Radiant Greninja. Mark really looking for a Judge or a Switch Card or a DT to retreat. Any of them will work. Now that he's got the 2 Mew VMAXs, he pretty much has back-to-back lined up attacks. Just needs to get that path into play so that Drapion doesn't knock his Mew VMAX out for 3 prizes.
Nailed it.
And 3 more. Do we see a Switch Card?
Yep. Alrighty.
Yep. Choosing to knock out Greninja again. The best thing to knock out on the board.
I can copy Max Miracle now, right? Yeah, Max Miracle.
Yep. No, you can't because you're
Hold on.
minus
Right.
10.
That's fair.
So
I
you
can't
have-
copy. Yeah, so we don't want to do that, chat. We're just going to go with the Techno.
Yep.
Yeah.
Techno Boss. I'm going to promote Comfey.
And then he goes to LZ, right?
Yep. Goes to the Lost Zone.
Ooh.
Now
but,
I'm at 7.
you know what? Yeah.
Do you have the path?
Yeah, but I don't like the thought of making a mistake like that on a video. It's okay. Yeah, I'm going to...
No, yeah. Play the path.
Rewind it. We're going to play the path because we know this will actually just body his turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're getting rid of this. Goes my discard pile. I already drew. I'm still going to get to magic number 7 anyways with the Comfey, which I will use. And I'll get rid of the Nest Ball. Now, let's see. I want to do this. Alright, so I will Raihan my Psychic to my Sableye. Search. Grab this card. So now I'm going to be setting up my turn, folks, my 2-turn game plan here. I'm then going to play my Beach Court, which allows me to have free retreat. So I'll be using that. So I'll use my free retreat. Oh, sorry, hold on. Wrong thing. Play down my Drapion. Play down my Sky Seal Stone. Free retreat into my Drapion Sky Seal Stone. And this was my Raihan, so then I'm going to attach for turn here. Use my Raihan. And I believe... Yep, then I'm going to activate my Sky Seal Stone and take a knockout with Dynamic Tail, placing 60 on my Cramorant, and I get to take 4 prizes. Now it's Mew's time to Roxanne me. I got 13 cards in hand. Roxanne plus the path to knock out Drapion would be huge. Taking 2 prizes, leaving 2 knockouts for Mew, and hopefully leaving me on a dead hand. Now, I don't have 10 cards to use Sableye yet, so I cannot knock out that Genesect on the board until I get some more cards in the Lost Zone. He already has the tablet for the knockout and Pal Pad, so hopefully going to be able to put that Roxanne back if it's in his discard pile. Yep, he's got that. Might even consider just placing the Roxanne in the deck instead of getting a second supporter, so it's a higher chance of drawing it. It's probably the best thing Mark's thinking about here, if he wants to keep a boss as well. But gonna go for the Roxanne. Think it's smart, gives you more odds. Let one less card in the deck to be able to draw into if it's another supporter. Really need to hit that Roxanne this turn. And bench a Mew V. Super important we get another Mew V down as well. And then all it is, the name of the game after that is taking out the Sableye. Take out Drapion and take out Sableye. If you can do that, stumble me from getting 2 Sableye attacks or the boss, this game is going to be A-okay. So now he's going to draw it to 2. So
Right. Oh, yeah, because I have 1 lesson play now.
1 lesson play. Found his Mew. Second one for 2. At the very least, he has the knockout on the Drapion. Although not being able to change my hand is pretty worrisome. He got it thin.
Yeah.
He's going to Ultra Ball. He's not going to search for anything. Just needs to hit that Roxanne. As long as he draws Roxanne and plays it, he won't deck out either. He's got plenty of cards. Now he's going to be drawing the full 3 for his 3rd Genesect. And no Roxanne. So we've already used the Forest Seal Stone. You get to draw 1 more. Is it the Roxanne off the top of the deck? Woo! Beautiful. So now Mark gets to go to 6 cards. I get to go to 2. He already played the Power Tablet, so he can use the Psychic Leap. So he, or no, sorry, not the Psychic Leap. He has to use the Techno Blast for the knockout since he has the Power Tablet. Excuse me. Able to do that 210 damage, and hopefully he's able to remove my Beach Court here. He has a stadium for that. Then he's looking really good. I'm gonna cut his deck, even though he's basically getting all of it. I'm gonna draw 2. Technoblast. Alright. I will promote the Comfey. I'm going to draw.
Show me the rod. Oh, wait, that's not in format anymore.
It is not in format.
So what is our recursion now? Is Super Rod back?
We have Super Rod will be back.
Will be back.
Not this set, but the next set. But right now we're just rocking the Klara and the Energy Recycler. Be able to get back those 5 energy.
Get your Dragon Vault Super Rods now, guys.
So I'm gonna go ahead and play this Mirage Gate. Thin out my deck of 2 energies. Psychic a water. Give Cramorant a water. Give Comfey a Psychic. Just want to thin those cards out. I really want to see some Colresses off of these 2 Comfeys and hopefully some Switch cards. Haven't played too many Switch cards this game, so should have some left. You know, this game was very slow and steady. Mark kind of gave me a little bit too much time, even though I was dead drawing myself. And then we're gonna give Mark the deck here. Got a 2-card hand. Let's hit Comfey for Colress. It's not Colress. I'm gonna get rid of the Mirage Gate, and now I have 3, 6, 8. In fact, shout out to the Lost Vacuum that I was talking about. I'm going to use the Lost Vacuum my own stadium, put myself to 10, retreat for turn, promote the Sableye, and use that Lost Mine, and blam that Genesect for 8, and put 4 on this Genesect because I'm disrespectful, and take my last 2 prizes. So, as you guys saw there, besides the fact that that wasn't exactly a game on either of our plans, having that Drapion Sky Seal Stone plus the threat of Sableye is enough for this matchup to go into the late game and still be able to clean up. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in and learning about Lost Zone Box, and I really appreciate Mark, my co-player here, for helping me out. Go check out Dead Draw Gaming online. Go check out Cutter Tap and check out some articles from the rest of the team players as well as myself. By the time this video has came out, my Pigs Might Fly article has been posted. So go ahead and check that out on Oikalone EX. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and take it easy.